Here we go.
All right.
Jersey Bowl, wild heart, there you see. Referee in the ring like a hockey league. Mike Chioda, nicknamed Coyote, from the Garden State down to Florida Sea.
Wow.
Wrestling chaos, he stands in between, third man in the ring, you know what I mean. Brings the odor in the WWE scene. Coyote howls where the palm trees lean.
Yeah.
Monday mailbag with a roar and a cheer.
Third man in the ring. Thank you, JD Hoop.
Stories and memories, all we'll hear. Coyote rules the night loud and clear.
Welcome in to another edition of the Monday Mailbag with Mike Chioda, the third man in the ring, the ref of our childhoods. I am your measly co-host, driver, whatever you want to call me. I am here to guide the ship, just barely. When I'm Cassio, that is the Coyote, Mike Chioda. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, Cassio? What's happening, man?
Good, man. We are live in front of an ad-free show's audience. Appreciate y'all joining us. It's going to be a fun one. Going to get a little bit serious. Going to get a little reminiscing, of course.
Yeah.
We are in the wrestling world. And, of course, one of your coworkers, one of your friends, Mr. Terry Bollea, has passed away. Hulk Hogan, of course, dominating the headlines this week. Mike, just first, as we get started, what do you want to say? What comes to mind? What happened when you heard that? Just go ahead and let's start us off and let's get your thoughts on everything.
Yeah, first, I want to say to Terry Bollea's family and Nick and his whole entire family, my condolences. He was a great man. He was always good to me, always fantastic to me. And I had so many memories of Hulk Hogan when I started in 1985 full-time with the WWF at the time. Gave us so many fantastic memories. He was always just so kind, so cool. Did a lot of his favorite a lot of great legendary matches. I just want to thank Hulkster, man, for all the years and just being so kind. And you know, I seen him about a little over a year ago at the bar down in Clearwater, and he was just like, "Hey, Coyote, man." He was like, you know. And that's who gave me the nickname. It was Razor Ramon, Hulk Hogan, a bunch of those guys back in the 80s. And just we'll never forget. I mean, we lost a legend, an icon. It's like losing like a Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron to baseball, and other guys to football. Like when you lose legends in football and any other sport. I mean, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, I mean, the paydays, not only everything else, the paydays were phenomenal, were unbelievable. He made everybody money because when the top guy made money in the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, the boys made money. The referees made money. And, you know, when he left the company, I was shocked. Completely shocked all the years. And I'm thinking, Jesus, how could we lose Hulk Hogan? And then just losing him and what he did for WCW with NWO, I was completely marking out for that shit and working for the WWF at the same time and going, Jesus, you know, we burnt our britches a little bit too much and we let go one of the most icons in the business. And then just and you know, he gave me one of my most favorite memories and matches I've done, of course, is with Rock and Hogan. 2002, WrestleMania 18, Toronto Sky Dome. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it. I miss him, man. God bless. Hope you rest in peace.
He gave us so many memories. I mean, that is ground zero for wrestling fandom for a lot of people. A lot of people that are watching this, listening to this, part of the ad-free shows family, anybody in the wrestling world. I think a lot of us, if you are of a certain age, your wrestling fandom begins and ends, starts with Hulk Hogan. And
yeah, it does.
I mean, everything around him, you know, Hogan Andre was the first pay-per-view I ever got to watch.
Right.
I had to watch it on cassette afterwards. We didn't have pay-per-view money.
Right.
but I went and rented it and watched it. And, that was the beginning. I had the Hulkamania workout kit. I
Yeah,
tell it on stage sometimes. It's a funny story. He was selling the workout gear with the headband
right.
and the wristbands and the weights, and you put the cassette in
Yeah,
and listen to him. And I ordered it. My dad got it for me because I knew I wanted it. And funny story,
man.
I'm in my bedroom listening to this in the floor beside my bed doing like workouts, listening to Hogan tell me how
Right,
to get strong and eat my
right.
vitamins and all
That's
these.
it. I mean, he had so much charisma. He
Oh, it's
connected with the
incredible.
kids and the people. And let me tell you, when I started working in '85 with him, and for many years, I would see, like, I was just tearing up here when we lost him. I lost a friend. I lost a God legend in the business that I grew up with. Um, there was little kids that were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. When he would sell, which he didn't do much selling, but when he'd sell to the outside and he would sell by the barricades, little kids were crying, tears coming out of their eyes watching Hogan get beat up. I mean, I was at the point where it used to, like, you kayfabe wrestling, right? Because a lot of people thought it was real. I mean, kids, adults, grandparents, they all thought it was real. A lot of them did. They took it real. And I wanted to jump over to the barricades and go to these kids and say, look, it's not real. It's not real. Stop crying. Because they was breaking my heart to see these little kids cry.
Sure.
And he's just selling. And I mean, Hogan was just one of the guys you'd see on TV, man, would, like, and he'd fire up, eat your vitamins, brother, da, 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 do this, and the weights and all the stuff he was doing over the years, and went to Hollywood, and just, I mean, he's just one of,
Underlips.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's just a legend, man. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, I have nothing but good words for Terry, man. And I thank him. There's so many memories inside and outside the ring. Were just phenomenal times, and just like the Rock and Hogan match. I remember I went up to Terry and I said, hey, Terry, I said, at Hulkster, I said, is there anything you need from me from this, brother? Let's just go out like we've done for many years and have fun, brother. He goes, you got your bump worked out, right? With the Rock and all that. The time, yes, yeah, we'll work that out. I'll make sure I'll be there. He goes, brother, we could just, let's see what happens. And because we didn't know what the crowd was going to do, how they really were going to react, right? And I believe Sean was kind of even bitter at this point because even when he wrestled him, he was like, he was never going to top that Rock and Hogan match when he faced Hogan at SummerSlam. And I believe that led to him overselling a lot of shit when in Hogan's match there, more or less not pissed at Hogan, but more pissed at, I believe, the Office he was at the time, Sean was. So, but man, I got to say, I want to thank Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea for all the great memories and all the fantastic times and all the freaking paydays, man. The paydays were phenomenal. That's for sure.
I thought it was a good thing. A couple things. Look, first, we'll just address this up front. Did the man Terry Bollea have his issues? Saying some racist things caught on camera. I mean, a lot of things
Right.
go into his past. I'm sure we all know it. I just want to read a couple things. Some friends of yours, of course, the Dudley boys that you know.
Yep.
Devon Dudley said, there were 2 occasions where Hulk Hogan actually saved my career. I understand why people are hurt by what he said. I was hurt too, but like the Bible says, forgive. He apologized to me. Also, his partner, of course, Bully Ray, said we are all guilty in one way, shape, or form of saying something or doing something that we wouldn't be considered appropriate. I'm not condoning in any way what happened or what was said at his lowest point because, listen, I get it. If anybody gets it, it is African-American people. That was Devon saying that. Excuse me. I said Bully Ray. He tweeted the picture out of it. But he said, but at the same time, you can't deny what this man has done for the wrestling business. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, there would be no WWE. There would be no AEW. There would be no TNA. There would be none of this. we wouldn't even be having this platform right now. We're able to still be relevant in this business because of that man. The business is hot right now. So for people to say what they say about the comments he made, I get it. I understand why you're hurt by it. I was hurt by it too.
Everybody was, yes.
But like we said, the Bible forgives.
And he came to the company one day when he came back, and we had a meeting, and Hogan was sitting at the front of the table, and he did apologize and was trying to make his amends for the comments he had made and stuff. And we had a meeting. It was just the talent, referees and talent, and everybody, and the higher ups were in that meeting, and and he deeply apologized. He deeply apologized for comments and stuff like that. He did. And I was in that meeting. So, and we were all hurt by things, and everybody says they're guilty for saying something, about somebody's ethnic and stuff like that. And we were all hurt, but we were like, you make statements like that, you joke around sometimes. I'm not saying he was joking at the time, but you joke around, you say things. I always, like, my friends will call me a Dago or a Wop or a Polak or something like that, and all the other stuff. And, you always joke around a lot of stuff, that's for sure. But he did apologize in that meeting and try to make amends. And I remember all the talent was in there. I don't know if everybody believed him. I don't know,
Yeah, that's for everybody individually. It's just part of his story, and everybody is, going to react to that different and view him in their own different way. And that's what it's all about. That's human nature.
Right.
You just react what you want, and you react to what you're seeing. I only met the gentleman twice, briefly interact with him. And I mean, I didn't have a deep conversation with him. So I had nothing but, I was marking out. I was back to 5 years old the first time he walked through that door.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I went, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's get into a little bit about it. Look, first of all, we'll take any of your questions. If you are ready to go, if you want to ask Mike anything, we'll take anything. We've got mailbag questions we'll get to, but as we start this, I do want to talk about some of the matches. So first, let's talk about that iconic match, and of course, you talked about it, Hogan and Rock. Rosie said, Chi-Chi, you refereed one of the Mount Rushmore matches, WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. Of course, he's talking about Icon versus Icon.
Yep.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. You got to be in that. So first, let's talk about when you heard this was happening and when you heard you were going to be involved in this.
Yeah, it was about 2 to 3 weeks prior to WrestleMania 18. I found out from Hogan and Rock. First of all, it was Rock that came up to me. He was like, Chi-Chi. He was like, you're reffing our match, brother. I was like, no shit. I was like, sweet. I was like jumping like a kid in a candy box. I was in a candy store, man. I was like trying not to oversell it. I was just sitting there like, and when I heard it, I was like, yes. I went and smoked a cigarette in the back. I'm like, motherfucker, yes, I got this match, right? Because you didn't politic your way into matches. You were put in certain matches, right?
Yeah.
Pat Patterson came up to me, says, hey, he goes, you know what match you have WrestleMania? I said, I just found out, Pat. I was like, oh, thank you, Pat. Because they get together. It was the Pat Pattersons and the Triple H's with Vince and all these other guys, even at the time, and Michael Hayes. And, they say, okay. I honestly thought I was going to get the Triple H Jericho match, with the titles. I thought I was going to get that match. But no, I definitely, Rock wanted me in there and Hogan wanted me in there. So, and, they always ask the talent, I'm sure, like, who do you want to do your match? That's it, So, yeah, I was marking out, and you'll see it in the beginning when the stare down. I started marking out on his entrance. I'm marking out right there. I am fucking marking. Look at my face.
Yeah, we've got the shot of you up there.
Yeah.
Did you hear them talk about? Did you talk about with them? They're going to have a stare down, or was that let's go out here and see what happens?
No, they were going to do it like a stare down, or a face off, kind of like the face off whatever. But man, once they knew that, once Hogan came out and Rock's back, like we all knew. We're like, holy fuck, we got the people. We didn't even start the match yet. I mean, just on the entrance,
Yeah.
you felt the vibe of the people that were just, oh my God. And then the stare down was just like, and look at me, I'm marking out. I'm like, Durr. I didn't want to get in the middle of them because there's no physicality here. It's just a stare down. That shot right there, I got a little closer, but I was kind of further away because I didn't want to get into the shot. And I was just kind of like pushing, like, all right, guys, all right. But the people were just rumbling, man. It was unbelievable. So they just milked that stare down a lot longer than I thought. That's for sure. And why not? Why not? We had the people on the stare down.
Where does that reaction rank?
Man,
Top 10 for sure. Top 5.
I'm saying top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah. I mean, what other? I've never seen, especially with the shove off, shoulder tackle, the Hulk up, and all that, man. If you ever watch that and you just see the people behind you just fucking freaking out, they're just, every one of them is moving and jumping and like, I mean, I couldn't even hear myself think at that time. Yeah, I couldn't even hear myself think. It was amazing, man. I had goosebumps. I had fucking goosebumps. I'm 17 years in the business and I'm marking out. I'm totally marking out, and that's what Hulkster said too, with him having that strap there. He was just like, all right, you got that bump worked out with Rock and all that, and you just can't see the strap, like when they were beating each other with it a little bit. So, and that's why, everything worked out as planned. The bump worked out as planned. The timing was right when I got back in the ring. That was very important. If my timing didn't get back in the ring as Rock was coming across that ring to take that bump, that would have looked like shit. It worked out great. Hogan came in there a little banged up. I believe his ribs were banged up and his breathing, but man, I'll tell you, he went through that match, all 25 minutes of it at least. It was just phenomenal, man. I've never heard a crowd like that. I've never, except for, Austin's pop. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin had a hell of a pop. Of course, The Rock had a hell of a pop when his music would hit, right? Shawn Michaels and other talent, Taker.
But as far as in ring,
and then just on the old school shove off and the tackle and the Hulk up and it was just, the people fucking went bananas, man. I mean, like Pat Patterson, the place went bananas. They went nuts. And I was like, they did, Pat. It was just what a great feeling. And as a referee, to make sure I was so wound up. I think I was on like my 3rd Red Bull before that match. I was like fucking, I was jumping all over the place. I was counting hard as shit, counting hard. I was so into the match because those people just, they lifted me up as much as they lifted them up,
What was Gorilla like? What was backstage like when you guys wrapped up and go back to the back?
Marking out. They said all day, like, Chris Jericho was running around all day. This match should be last. We shouldn't be last. We shouldn't be last. I mean, this is 33 years ago. Chris was probably 20-something years old at the time or whatever, I mean, he knew. He was like, he knew Canada. I mean, I didn't know if he knew that they were going to react like that, but he knew they were going to get some fucking reaction because he wouldn't have been saying that if he knew that match wasn't going to get a reaction, And I mean, he had Jericho from Canada it was a title match with Triple H and Stephanie, involved in that, yeah, it was amazing. I mean, Jericho was saying all day there was no, and he was rightfully, he was very, very correct on that day. He was definitely right, man. That's for sure.
Then we fast forward SummerSlam 2005, and you are in the ring for Hogan and Shawn Michaels, which you've brought up earlier in the show. What do you remember about that match?
Just, it was just a lot of overselling. I mean, it was great to be in a ring with Shawn Michaels and Hulk, but it was just a lot of overselling. I remember Sean being, I think it was a little more upset. I don't know if it was really with, with Hulkster, because, they don't put the matches together. You know what I'm saying? The company does.
Yeah.
The bigwigs do. And I believe Sean was just like, well, why even fucking putting it? We're never going to get a reaction. I mean, Rock and Hogan 3 years ago. What do you expect to get out of this in SummerSlam? You know, it was a reaction, but it didn't compare to Rock and Hogan. That's for sure. And I mean, Sean in 2002, we're going with the DX, starting as the Rockers, and what Sean has accomplished in the business. We're coming to WWF at the time with Marty Jannetty as the Rockers, and he broke off on his own, and what the success he had at that time.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold match in WrestleMania there in Boston Garden, which I did that match as well with Mike Tyson as the enforcer. I just believe Sean wasn't into the match. He wasn't into it because they weren't going to have they knew they weren't going to tear the house down like Rock and Hogan,
Of course, that was the main event. It was Hogan's first SummerSlam appearance since 1991.
Wow.
Of course, the huge American flag rolled out from the top of the stage, covered the entire set. And then they have their match. And like you said, if you go watch it, Sean is basically overselling everything.
Right. Right.
What do you remember beforehand? When were you told you were going to be involved in this match?
I was told at least a couple weeks ahead of time, a week or two ahead of time. They told me where I was going to be, what match and stuff.
Anything they tell you going in, Sean or Hogan?
No, they just told me, Sean, you got the Sean and Hogan match at SummerSlam. And I was like, sweet, and then I kind of was hearing a lot of things up to that SummerSlam match, what was going on, and stuff like that. Who was hot, who was this, and yada, yada, yada. And, I just went there and did my job that night, so I just, it's didn't take sides of anything, I just, I had to call the match down the middle, just be there. And then, when I seen the overselling, I was like, oh, fuck, I was like, holy shit, but I was wondering if Sean was going to get heat for it, but, Sean's, but I respect Sean in many ways. He's helped me be the referee I am today. Working him with the Rockers and becoming a singles guy like he did, and what he's accomplished with DX and all that, getting through the Attitude Era.
Of course, during the match, Sean gets kicked into you, and then Sean performs a low blow and hit him with a steel chair. Thanks, Mike, for not corralling him. Just out of control. Hogan gets the win after the match. Hogan extended his hand to Hogan saying, I needed to know, and I found out, and Hogan shook his hand there. What do you remember going backstage? Was anybody talking about the overselling instantly, or what was that? 21 minutes they put on a show?
Yeah.
What do you remember about going backstage after that?
Nothing was said about him going to be overselling or anything like that, You probably see my face right there. I was like, oh, what's going on here? Or, oh, like, I remember like Hogan kicking him in the corner or something like that. And he took this big floppy bump. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know with Hogan coming back in 2002 from the WCW NWO era, Rock beats him, but then Sean in 05 can't beat him. Maybe Sean was upset about that too, as well.
Right.
Like you're going to continue to put Hogan over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. That's something I've never talked with Sean before. I stayed out of that kind of shit. I wouldn't go, Sean, are you upset because you didn't go over that night? Or that's kind of shit you just left and let the office and the boys figure that shit out.
Yeah.
So,
above your pay grade. Right?
Yeah, above my pay grade, bro. It's above my pay grade. But you got to look at it. Sean's been with the WWF at that time, what, almost 20 years?
Yeah.
Too. And, it's 3 years after the Hogan Rock match. Hogan's 3 years older, and he's got a job out to Hogan again. So I mean,
Well, they're both big dogs. They're both big egos. They're both,
true, right,
both on
right.
top of the mountain. Let's get to a couple questions. First in the live chat, Dave McClay said, "Do you have
What's
any
up?
cool stories about drinking on the road with Hulk?" And Coach Rosie says, "Or smoking."
Yeah, did a little bit of everything with Terry, with Oakster. And all fun too, man. Great times, great times. I remember like in Birmingham, England, like even just like late 80s or early 90s or late 80s, I believe it was the buildup. We were touring over there before the 92 SummerSlam. And I remember like the first match, I go in real quick. I go in, it's Paul Roma and Hercules, Power and Glory. They come on their entrance, and I look over when I get in the ring in the first match, and I'm like, their opening match. And I look over and it's fucking, I'm like, he looks like Robert Plant. He's got this tie-dye shirt, long curly hair. I just had seen Robert Plant a couple years prior to that, pictures at 11, and he was solo, of course. And I see him sitting there at the front row, and I'm like, fuck, that's fucking Robert Plant. Huge Led Zeppelin fan, right? Since I was 13 years old, 12 years old. So, and I look, and he's got a little boy with him. And I remember, his little daughter had passed away very young from an illness and stuff. And so I'm like, holy shit, that is him and his little son, like, I'm like, holy shit. And I go back after, I'm telling Paul Roma, he's like, that's not fucking Robert Plant. Roma's like, I don't know. Nah, that's not. Hercules is like, Ray Fernandez is like, I don't know, Coyote, that's not him, I'm like, guys, I'm fucking telling you, this is fucking Robert Plant, and he was like, well, where's he from? I'm like, I know he's from England, but I mean, we are in fucking England, I'm like, so I go back after the match. Who do I go to? Hulkster sitting in the dressing room, right? And I'm like, Hulkster, I'm like, fucking, I could have sworn I seen fucking Robert Plant out there, bro. Brother, I'm telling you, man, it's Robert Plant. It looked like Robert Plant. He's like, Coyote, you got to stop smoking that fucking hash, brother. He's like, you're smoking too much of that hash, because we used to get a lot of hash from England and, in England and stuff. And we were smoking it under a glass, we'd put the pin under a cardboard, put the piece of hash on it, hit it up. And we're smoking out of a pipe or whatever. And I remember Hulkster saying, that's the Coyote, you're smoking that fucking hash too much. And I'm like, I'm fucking telling you guys, it's fucking Hulkster, it's fucking Robert Plant. Next thing you know, man, intermission, who comes walking back with a bunch of security guards, like 5 of them, and his son? It's fucking Robert Plant. I was like, I told you guys, I told you. I told you. Who marks out? It's Hulkster. Hulkster marks out. He's like one of the first ones that mark out. And all the boys rush Robert Plant. And his little boy's off to the side. I'm like, yo, this is his son, man. He got to say hello to his son. They're marking out so bad, And it was funny, man. I was like, and I remember Robert Plant inviting us to his mansion, inviting us somewhere. I believe it was his mansion, his house. He had a mansion, I guess, somewhere in Birmingham, outside of Birmingham. And I remember Chief J, Strombo, and all that. That shit is not. We're not taking these buses and going to fucking.
He knew y'all would never come back.
Right. He knew he'd fucking be up all fucking night. And he's like, I babysit these fucking guys all day long, every day. I'm not babysitting, And because we were trying to get the buses somehow to take us over there. There was no Uber back then, Of course, it's impossible to take it. So we were trying to get the buses to go over to it, but it never happened.
That's great, man.
But I'm telling you, man, all the boys were marking out. I marked out tremendously. I was like, fuck, got that picture right there, bro. That's the picture right there. Got it framed up on the wall and everything, man. So it was really cool moment, man. I mean, Robert Plant, another legend in the rock and roll business, right?
And Hogan's marking out. That says a lot, because most people mark out for Hogan, even no matter how popular you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Robert Plant didn't know too much of Hulk Hogan. Maybe his son knew everything. Maybe that
tells you the hierarchy of popularity.
Yeah, I mean, Hogan, a bass player too. He's a bass player when he first, before wrestling
Was
and all
he?
that. Yeah, he's a bass player. He
I
was in a
saw him
band.
fake play the guitar for his
No, he's a
deal,
bass.
but he is a bass player.
He was a bass player. I believe he used to do like these local bars or something in Florida or somewhere. And and I remember he was always messing around on the bass some once in a while or doing something, but I remember his background was he was in a band. He was a bass player, I believe, and him, God, he had to grow up with Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin came out in the 70s, and
Sure,
right, I
everybody.
mean, right. He was right on prime time with Zeppelin.
So you've known him since when? 85?
Yeah, believe I met him in
4?
83, 84 when I used to work for Gorilla Monsoon,
Okay.
and when I used to work part-time in the summer times doing the ring for Victor Quinones and Joey Morella. And that's another thing. Joey did that match, right? It was like, fuck Joey. We weren't really talking about the Hogan Andre. He told me how it was difficult and he was scared because Andre doesn't say much and Andre just says things. And I think Hogan was nervous going into that match, and Joey was like, I was like, what was it like with fucking 93,000 people, bro? He was like, bro, it was unfucking believable. It was unbelievable.
Of course, you're talking about he worked
Yeah,
Mania 3.
Joey Morella worked the Hogan
Hogan Andre match,
yeah,
yeah.
Hogan Andre match.
See, it goes back a long way. This is a picture from your archives.
Yeah.
Those who are not watching, just listening, tell everybody what's in this picture.
Yeah, this is my little sister Danielle, which she is 48 now.
She's got the
She's on
pinstripe shirt or the other one?
she's the other one. She's on the right.
The long white
She's
shirt.
on Hogan's left side. Yeah. And
Okay.
then that's my cousin Mark Chioda down at the bottom there. Yeah, I didn't have that picture. He sent it to me when we heard about Hogan.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so they were big fans. Everybody was big fans of Hulk Hogan.
So wait, when do you think this was?
I think this was in either Philadelphia Spectrum or it was probably maybe in Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. I believe it's probably East Rutherford, New Jersey, maybe.
So like what, 80s? Where? When?
I want to say, God, she looks about 10 years old there. I'm saying 38 years ago.
Okay. What's his name? Mark?
Yeah.
How old's Mark?
He's probably 4 or 5 years old there. He's like 5, 6 or so. Yeah, that's it.
How old is he now?
He's what is he? He's about 40. He's about 5 years younger than my sister. I want to say he's about 43 or 40.
Okay, so this might be 40.
Yeah,
this is a long time ago.
Yeah, because I've been out of the business with WWF for 5 years now, at least. So yeah, I mean, go back.
Do you remember this pic at all, or did he send it to you?
No, he sent it to me. And
I mean, obviously you got him back there, right?
Yeah, of course, right. And
yeah, but you don't remember being there when that's funny.
But I remember everybody. My other sister Nikki met Hulk Hogan. My mom met Hulk Hogan. He was always so cool, man. It's like and it was kind of hard to go up to Hulkster and go, hey, Hulk, can you meet my family real quick, brother?
Right, yeah.
You're young in the business and you were scared, but oh yeah, sure, brother, no problem. Where are they at? All right, I'll bring them right here. I'll get them right here. And you always have to have people ready to go standby because you didn't want Hulkster waiting, or so you want everybody right there. So yeah, I mean, I remember like they met, everybody in my family had met Hulk because he was always so cool. Sure, brother. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it in intermission. We'll do it now. Or, let's get it together. Never said no to nothing, bro.
That's awesome.
And that shirt, after that match, there's probably, I mean, 17 years in the business. And I asked him and Rock to sign that referee shirt. I said, this is a keeper right here, And I got
that shirt.
Yeah, that shirt's on the wall right here.
You still got that shirt?
It's right on framed right there, Cass. See it right there under the Mike Chioda sign.
Point straight up to it.
Yep, straight
right there.
Right there, brother. Right there.
That's this right here.
That's that right there.
And an autograph by Rock and Hogan. That's awesome, man.
Yep. The only one that hasn't signed it is me yet. That's it.
I'll give you $100 for it right now. I'll start the bidding right now.
I know. So Collector.
That's awesome, man.
He emailed me, Collector, for wrestling and stuff. and he actually bought one of the turnbuckles, and I from WrestleMania, and actually Conrad Thompson from WrestleMania 4 or 5. I forgot which one I gave Conrad, the 4 or 5 one, but because I worked both WrestleManias there in Jersey, at the Trump Plaza there, and I remember he emailed me when he seen that shirt up on the wall, I guess on some interview or whatever, or podcast or whatever. And he said, "Hey," he goes, "I was just letting you know if you were interested in finding out how much that shirt would probably be worth, let me know if you're interested." And I emailed him back. I said, "Sure, I sure do." So I said, "Hey, here's my number. Can you, give me a call?" He called me, we talked, and he said that shirt was roughly worth about $7,000 to $10,000.
All right, I got $200. We'll start the bidding at 200.
And he said that, I don't know, it was a few years ago, at least 3 or 4 years ago. And I said, "Wow." I said, "Well, that's one thing I'm never going to get rid of. There's a lot of things I'll never get rid of.
Yeah.
But that's one shirt. That's one thing I'll never get rid of. That's for sure."
Let's get to some more questions. We're going to go, look, we're going to try to get to all the mailbag questions. But of course, this show changed after the passing of Hulk this past week. So we're going to get a lot of these while we can, while it's still fresh on our mind. Everybody's wanting to know about it. Excuse me. Coach Rosie's got a business question. You don't have to answer it, but he said, how much do you make for a match like that if you want to share?
And Coach, I'll share it. No problem with you, Coach Rosie. That match I made 15.
You're talking about Hogan and Rock.
Hogan Rock, I made 15. Yep, it was a $9,000, which JR was just, I think JR took over. Johnny took over right after, like at that time. JR paid the referees unbelievable too. And it was like something about, I want to say 9,000 for the match and another 6,000 for the pay-per-view thing. It was like, it broke down. It came
like
in
a
like
percentage.
It was like a percentage, because you got the percentage of the gates, you got the percentage of whatever as a referee. I didn't get as much as the boys. But to me, that $15,000 paycheck was fucking unbelievable, bro. And
Sure.
I was getting paid crew at that time too. I was doing
Sure.
crew. And I remember before that match, I didn't go to sleep till at least 4 in the morning. I had a big ass suite at the Toronto Sky Dome, looking over the field, thinking I'm, looking at the ring, going, I remember partying that night, hanging out till at least 4 in the morning, and going to myself like, damn, I'm going to be in that ring tomorrow with fucking Rock and Hogan, man. I got it. I got it. And I'm, I was just going over the match in my head, smizzing, drinking, fucking looking out that window, I remember I didn't get much sleep at all that night because I had to be there early too for Mania and the crew stuff.
Let's see what we got. Here's a fun one. Mike Kling said, imagine the reunion Hogan and Andre are having. Yeah, man, boy, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Also passing away this week, Rosie said, any feeling on Ozzy? Ozzy passed away. You're a big rock guy. You're a big concert guy like myself. Did you ever get to see Ozzy in person?
Yes, I did. Not in concert. Yes. When I was a teenager, seen Black Sabbath.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. I was about 16.
Where
I went to tons of concerts in Philly. Yep. In Philly.
Yeah, dude.
I'd like that. I'm going to go through my old stubs and see if I still got, I'm sure I got that stub because I knew, so I only seen him once too, but Black Sabbath was.
Never met him?
No, never met Ozzy. Never met Ozzy.
I got to meet him. I believe my second or third appearance on Leno. He was the guest. Him and Sharon came on to promote the reality show that was rocking just then.
Cool.
I'm backstage at Leno. I've done it a couple times. So again, I'm like you, when you're in that business, you go, I can't mark out. I'm supposed to act like I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
You know
right.
I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But then people that come by and you're going, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling like a badass. I've been picked up by a limo service. They always picked you up when you had to go to the studio because they didn't want you to be late.
Right.
Wanted to be on them. How we'll pick you up, it's on us if you're late.
Yeah.
So I go. I'm in my dressing room. They give you your dressing room if you're on. I'm like, oh, this is crazy, man. This is fun. Like, this is rocking and rolling. And you never know. When I get there, I never know who's on the show till they start showing up.
Showing up, right?
And I hear this commotion. So I open my dressing room door and I peek out in the hallway, and there's camera crews and people. And then I see Sharon Osbourne walk by.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
And she's like, hey, sweetie. And I'm like, hey, like, wait, is that Sharon? And then I look down and here's Ozzy, and at that time he's still doing the shuffling and the mumbling. And that was 20 years ago.
Right, right.
And he starts, just hello, wave, and it says hello and nods. And you're like, holy shit, that was Ozzy Osbourne. Like, doesn't get much bigger than that.
No, don't.
Music wise, then he took his music solo bigger. Yep. Then that reality show in the early 2000s put him on another stratosphere.
Another chart.
And so then I was like, oh my gosh, it was weird because that was fantasy. Ozzy Osbourne's on another planet. He's not in my realm. You know what I mean? He's make believe.
He's unbelievable.
The Godfather of metal, just incredible. And yeah, two legends passing in the same week is incredible.
It's incredible. I mean, growing up, it was Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Deep Purple, Metallica. It was a lot of bands, like heavy metal bands, and Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath. They were like God to people. I mean, they were really. There was a lot of my friends that were really into the Black Sabbath stuff.
Sure.
They said if you played the album backwards, it was
all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. We're trying to play the album backwards.
Bobby KF5 GTX says, Mike, were you made aware that Vince was going to get rid of the NWO once Hall was sent home? Nash was injured and Hogan was babyface. Do you remember? Do you remember any of that?
I was surprised. See, I was surprised that Vince put Hogan in the yellow and red, back in the yellow and red. I really was. I mean, I would have rather see Hogan stay with the NWO at that time, He still would have sold merch. I think Vince maybe had it, or somebody had it in their minds that if we put him back in the yellow and red, that we're going to sell so much more merch. Maybe they did, maybe they sold a shitload of merch. But in my opinion, I wish they would have kept him in the NWO. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, because they turned on Hogan, whatever they did, right? It was just, and I guess they already. I don't know if they're like, if this was, that was one match. I got to say, I thought they were going to change the finish. I really do.
Really?
I really did. Like, there was always talk about, hey, might change his finish on this match. Didn't say that on that match, but I thought I was going to get something like, hey, let's change the finish. Because to me, it was like Andre passed the torch to Hulk Hogan, right? Now, Hogan was going to pass the torch to The Rock, which he did. And then a couple years later, Rock took that torch and went to Hollywood. He took that torch, and he went right to Hollywood. And those were differences over, I believe, with Triple H and the company at that time. And Rock was just like, you know what? I'm going to Hollywood. So, and he did, and he made it fucking huge, right? I mean, look where Rock's at now, and it's so good to see Rock back in the business, and looks phenomenal, looks better than he ever fucking did back in the day, and his charisma, his personality is why he's at where he's at right now.
Greg Jacobson said, Mike, is Hogan saying anything to you or to Sean about all the overselling while it was going on?
No, I just remember Hogan just kind of like, hey, brother, thank you. Like, I thanked him for the match. I remember just Hogan was like, thank you, Coyote, blah, blah, blah.
You could tell he wasn't impressed, though?
No, he wasn't really happy with the overselling. It wasn't what Hogan didn't put this match together. You know what I'm saying? Hogan didn't put together. He didn't say, hey, I want to wrestle Shawn Michaels for SummerSlam. They put that, the office did that. So, it could have been a better match, I'm sure. Yeah. Like I said, was Shawn a little hurt too in 2005 that okay, Rock beats Hogan, but now you're going to make me job out to Hogan, and we're going to follow that match 3 years later. I mean, I can understand where Sean was coming to from if Sean had those thoughts and was running through his head. Yeah, I understand it because let me tell you, I don't care how many millions you're making.
No.
Top guys are the boys. Your ego kicks in too. Your ego kicks in. Your
Yeah, I don't mean this as a negative, but those are two of the biggest,
right,
rightfully so.
right. I mean, it's like two of the biggest. So I mean, it's just what you've done for the business, how good you are, your character. Period. He was Shawn Michaels. It was Michael Hickenbottom. It was Hulk Hogan, Terry Boyle. It just your character kicks in for that ego stuff. And I've seen a lot of the boys try to protect their character, their persona. Back in them days when you were told you had to do a job for somebody, just like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, right? I mean, fucking Bret wasn't going to do the job in Montreal.
It's the business,
and he had no control of what happened.
Ben Jones is with us. Ben,
hey, good day, mate. All right.
Said apologies that this has been covered, but Mike, did you sit down with Rock and Hogan while they were laying out the Mania 18 match, or was it called in the ring?
No, I mean, we called some stuff in the ring, but because they were so old school, they'd call stuff in the ring and everything. But no, we laid down the match beforehand. Definitely, Ben. Yep, we laid it out. We even had rehearsals there. I even went over the timing of the bump I had to take. And which you could do rehearsals on stuff like that, but man, when it's in live and full stride and stuff like that, you still got to execute it the day of the match.
All right. Dave McClay in the chat says, Mike, what's your favorite Hogan movie other than No Holds Barred?
I don't know. I kind of want to say probably just a No Holds Barred, though. I know other, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. What's the movie with the little dress on with the little girl or something?
You did Suburban Commando?
Yeah, no, not Suburban Commando. It was something else, I believe. But yeah, I'd have to. God, it's a hard question because I No Holds Barred is one of my favorites. That's my favorites with Hogan. I always thought Hogan should have been in that Predator movie with everybody. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse the Body. Remember that? Jesse the Body. Schwarzenegger.
He was in No Holds Barred, then he was Suburban Commando.
Right.
Thunder in Paradise, of course, is the TV show.
Right.
Assault on Devil's Island was a TV movie. That was good. Somebody in the chat said that was underrated. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
What else was he in? Let's see.
I want to say, remember he dressed up as a ballet dancer, or dressed up when he had the little girl. Which one was that? Does anybody know?
I thought that was Suburban. Is that not Suburban Commando?
It might be. Yeah, it might have been. Maybe on Suburban Commando. Maybe. But yeah, I gotta say, Dave, man, it's No Holds Barred for me. Is the best. It's a hard one if you X that out.
This is a good one. Alexis De La Rosa said, "Do you remember the shortest match you ever reffed?"
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Nanny.
That was it, Mr. Nanny.
He was in Rocky, of course.
Yeah. Rocky, I like Rocky.
Gremlins 2. I forgot he was in Gremlins 2.
Yep. Rocky, of course, with Sylvester Stallone.
Alexis, hit us up. Do you remember the shortest match?
Yeah. Geez, I hope Triple H ain't listening.
Is he in the shortest match?
I know you're listening somewhere, Trip. No, it was.
It'll get back to him. I know that.
It was
after many years of doing this podcast. If something said, it'll get back to Trip.
But it wasn't Triple H at the time. It was Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Okay.
So it was him and the Warrior. And yeah, it was it WrestleMania? Or was it a SummerSlam or something? Yeah, it was 45. I think it was WrestleMania. It was 45 seconds, Ultimate Warrior. And
okay.
It was like 40. Of course, Warrior couldn't probably go that more than so many minutes, you know. But
Say he blew up getting in. And
yeah, he
the road.
blew up on his entrance, right?
Yeah.
But I remember it was like 45 seconds to a minute. You know, if somebody can maybe pull up that time, I want to say it was maybe about a minute of a match, maybe
Wait,
40
which
seconds.
which pay-per-view was it?
It could have been WrestleMania. It could have been Warrior against Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Let's see. Warrior
Yep.
Triple H. Let's see if we can find that. If anybody knows, hit us up. Oh, here we go. 99 seconds.
Yeah.
1996 WrestleMania 12.
Was that with entrance? Because it might have been 45 seconds in the ring. You know, but yeah, it was. I remember it was about a minute and like a little over
Ultimate Warrior defeated Hunter Hearst Helmsley with Sable by pinfall, 1 minute and 39 seconds.
Yeah, that was the quickest match I've ever done. As a main event match too. You know,
by the way,
main event, but it was you know, it was a big. What was it? WrestleMania or was it? It was a big.
That was Mania 12.
Yeah, Mania 12. Okay, it was. I believe it was in Was it in Anaheim? No, let's see. Where was that Mania?
Mania 12 was, it was Anaheim, Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, 18,853.
Yep.
That was, of course, the headliner, the main event. Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario defeated Bret Hart 1-0 by pinfall and sudden death overtime. That was a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah, was it when Shawn came down on the cable? I believe he came down on the cable into the ring. I think. Do you
remember working any others in that one?
No, I don't remember working any others. I might have done one match.
The dark matches were Body Donnas with the Godwins, then the Huckster, not the Hulkster.
Yeah, Huckster.
Versus Nacho Man
I might have done the Body Donnas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we start the actual pay-per-view. British Bulldog, Owen Hart, and Vader with Jim Cornette defeated Ahmed Johnson, Jake Roberts, and Yokozuna. Roddy Piper defeated Goldust. That was the Hollywood Backlot Brawl. Then Stone Cold with Ted DiBiase defeated Savio Vega.
Wow.
Ultimate Warrior and Triple H, or just Hunter Hearst Helmsley then. Yep. Undertaker defeated Diesel and Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. You think so? Maybe the Body Donnas, but on the pay-per-view, just Hunter Hearst.
I just had that match. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That was probably one of a good payday shortest match I've ever done. Didn't have to stretch anything.
Blackstock said he found Chioda's shortest match, Extreme Rules 2019, Kevin Owens and Dolph in 17 seconds.
That was Extreme Rules? Really?
Whoa.
I mean, Ziggler had to do the job probably, right?
Do you remember that?
No, I don't, but
That could be a good pull by Matt Blackstock.
Damn, 17 seconds. Holy shit. 2019? That was before I got let go.
I was looking, Kevin Owens defeated Dolph Ziggler pinfall, 17 seconds.
I was going to say Ziggler Edge because Ziggler wasn't going over that much when I was still there. You know, for a long time, he wasn't going over. I felt bad for Ziggler.
As soon as the match started, Owens performed a stunner on Ziggler.
Oh, shit.
Hey, well, this leads us perfectly. Because I asked you, me and you were talking on the phone this week.
Right.
And I asked you your first match. You know your first match. What was your first match, reffing?
First match was Barry Horowitz and Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi.
Okay.
That was my very first match I did.
And that was just a house show?
That's correct. Yep. And
I said, hey, what was your first ever TV match? And you said?
Don't know.
Incredible.
I can't remember. So if anybody could dig that up.
Yeah.
All right. You got an action figure signed by me.
Okay.
And a choice of their 8x10. All right.
This guy right here?
That guy right there. So if anybody can, because I'm dying to figure that out myself because people do ask. So what was, I debuted, of course, 89 on TV, 87 I started refereeing, but I do not remember my first match. And if you can verify
So
that,
you think it had to be all right? So when was Horowitz match? What year was
that
that?
was in '87. That was when I started refereeing.
So you think
Because I paid,
87, maybe 88
yeah,
was
because
your
I was,
first TV?
yeah, I was ring crew 85, 86, of course, for 23 years, ring crew. I started refereeing in '87. And then I had to pay dues and learn how to referee. And I just didn't go right up to TV. You know, you had to pay your dues. You had to learn how to referee. There was no school. You just got thrown out to the wolves and you learned. And then I debuted, and could have been maybe 88, late 89, I believe I debuted on TV, though.
Okay. So there you go. You've got your homework, people. He's got
Yes.
a trivia question. Now we're gonna have to try to figure it out. There's gonna be
Yes.
some digging to do.
Some digging dirt. That's it.
We're
Please.
looking for the first TV match with Mike Chioda.
Yep.
That's gonna be super fun.
It's going to be with the mullet. It's going to be with the mullet and the blue shirt and the bow tie.
Matt said the shortest match, Kevin and Dolph, was your final match.
Oh, really?
How about that? Do you think that's right?
Could be, because I got injured in 2019. Because I had surgery in 2019 October at Dugas's in Alabama, St. Andrews.
This was July 14th, 2019. Was Extreme Rules the one?
Yeah,
with
it could have been. Could have been. That could have been
really
my final match. That could have been my final. Good
Look
work,
at Matt
man.
coming
Good.
through.
Matt Blackstock. You're all right. That could be, because I was out for a little while and then decided to have I had to get surgery because I seen some doctors down there in Houston. I was moving to Florida. I was getting a house built in Florida, here in Tampa. And then I think in September, when I went and seen Dugas, he said, "You need surgery."
Did you get hurt in that match?
No, not in that match. It was already hurting. Like, I did some, I know right before that, I did some gauntlet matches. And I remember one was in Miami. One was somewhere else, back to back. I did some like 45, 60-minute gauntlet matches. And I got hurt. I tore 2 biceps, rotator cuff, and a tear in the back of my shoulder. And Dugas fixed me up in 2019 of October. And then a week later, I went to closing on a house in Tampa.
Devin Dowling said somebody should watch every wrestling challenge from 1988.
Right,
and someone
right.
Right.
I mean, we had maybe Tuesday Night Titans then too. Tuesday Night Titans, wrestling challenge. We had superstars. Yeah.
So there you go. It is laid out before you. A 8x10 of your choice and this wrestling figure, which, by the way, anybody can order. Just scan that QR code. You can get yours. Or if you see Mike out and about at one of the conventions or at an appearance, you can get it from him there. But you're going to get them one of these and an 8x10 if they can verify and find your first TV match, right, Mike?
Yes. If anybody can find that out, I'd appreciate it, and I'll mail it right out to you guys.
Your first and only wrestling figure right here.
Right. The first and only figure. Yep.
How about that? So the first figure for the first match.
So look at that face, that mullet, and that blue shirt, and that bow tie. Figure it out.
Find this guy. Where's Waldo?
Yeah. And if anybody, and I'll tell you, the next question we'll come up with next week is how many matches I've done. If anybody can figure that out.
Oh, gosh. That's like asking how many ping pong balls are in like an SUV, and you got to figure out which one's
right.
The closest. You know, you said it earlier. Look, first of all, mailbag. We did not get to the mailbag this week. This is just a different week than we usually do. We will get to those. If you want to just leave it there, we'll get it to you next time. Next time we have the show, we'll go back into this week's mailbag.
Definitely.
If you want to be a part of it, if you want to repost it, that's fine as well. But we definitely want to make sure that we get your questions in. Apologies for that, but you know, we did not anticipate the passing of a legend and one of your friends and coworkers. So
yes,
we will get to that next time we are together. We'll dig back into the mailbag. We appreciate everybody for joining us. We've got the trivia questions And we appreciate all of y'all. By the way, one of our biggest live shows.
Yeah.
So appreciate that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for everything, man. I appreciate it, Cass, and all the ad-free show people, man. I really appreciate the support all the time. And yeah, definitely come up with that. Please come up with that. And I'll definitely, we'll definitely send some stuff out to them. That's for sure. Answer that trivia question for me because I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said,
Right.
you said earlier, thanks for the house. I was moved by a post that our buddy Eric Bischoff posted, who tweeted that. He tweeted, "Thanks for the house," and actually got some blowback for that. I think people thought he was saying, "Thanks for letting me buy a house with all the money you made me," but he was not. I wanted to read this, Mike, because I think you will appreciate it
Yeah.
from somebody in the business.
Right. I
But
respect
Eric
her.
said, "I've seen responses here that I should have anticipated. Thanks for the house is a phrase used to show gratitude and respect from those that are a part of a pro wrestling event to the headliner on the card,
Yes.
particularly in the early WWF era. Every wrestler on the card for any show that Hulk was headlining knew their payout at the end of the night was going to be significantly higher just because Hulk was the headliner. Everyone on the card made more money just because they were on the same card as Hulk. While many people should thank Hulk for the house they live in, the house in my post was a nod to a band of amazing traveling people who helped contribute to this pop culture and entertainment phenomenon called pro wrestling. And yes, thanks for the house I live in,
Brother.
too. But
And that was 200% right. We always used to thank everybody for the house. Always.
yeah,
And you thank the top guy for the house too, because the top guys were drawn. And I mean, I could tell you a quick story real quick. We're in Tennessee somewhere. I believe it was like I forgot what town we were. We were in somewhere in Tennessee, south, with the WCW territory kind of, and it was like Jim Crockett territory or somewhere. And I remember the houses were horrible. We had like 150 tickets sold. We're in this big arena. Next thing you know, the office calls us and says, "Hey, get an area. It's gonna probably be by ringside. Make sure the fucking ring's looking good and the canvas is vacuumed. Everything looks clean. He's gonna do a promo and the 5:30. He's gonna be on the news channel, the local news." So then Hogan would get there early. He would do this interview on the news for like 5-8 minutes or whatever, and cut his promo. Next thing you know, boom! By 7:30, 8 o'clock, the house was full. Unbelievable. So they started doing that a lot in them territories that we were going in, and it was working. And we all know, like in the South, it was always a walk-up crowd, right? You could have 7,000 tickets sold, and before you know it, you'd have 12,000 at the end of the night because 3,000 or 5,000 people walked up. And it was always a walk-up towns in the South. And when Hogan started, and whoever came up with that idea was fucking right on point, because the house would fill up from 5:30 news that he'd be on. At 7:30, 8 o'clock, the house would be full. Unbelievable.
incredible, man.
True story, man. And
Incredible.
And you always said thanks for the house to the boys,
Well, we appreciate you, man, for opening up, sharing your stories, sharing your memories of your friend. We knew him, of course, as an entertainer, as an icon.
Yeah.
We as fans, I knew it was going to be emotional for us today with, somebody you've known for decades and not only worked with, but friends and saw and talked to a lot, lived close by. So we appreciate y'all joining us today. We know it was a little bit emotional, more emotional than we usually do. We usually like to have fun.
Yep.
But look, this is wrestling, and this is what is the hot topic in wrestling. And so we did not want to let that pass. Mike, appreciate you again, man.
Yeah,
appreciate your time. Appreciate you opening up to us. We appreciate everybody who joined us in the live. We always appreciate that. Appreciate everybody in the mailbag. Again, we'll get back to those. I promise. Anything you've sent in, we will get to that no matter how long it takes. Next time we are here, we will get to that.
Definitely will.
He is the one and only Mr. Mike Chioda. I am Cassio. Thanks everybody for joining us. Mike, appreciate you, brother. We are always grateful for everything. Every time you take the time out to hang with us, my man.
Thank you. Always appreciate you too, Cassio. One love, brother.